You're listening to the Substation Gaming Podcast. I'm Black Chestnut. With me, I have Ricola.
Hi.
And today we are going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts 4. It got announced.
Shocking this
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
It's only been a few years.
Yeah. I think it's funny, like right off the bat, because it's like the time between Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, at least in retrospect, wasn't too long, in comparison to the time between Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3. So now the time between Kingdom Hearts 3 and Kingdom Hearts 4 is also relatively short.
Yeah. I mean, I never dealt with the wait between 2 and 3 because I didn't pick up the series until like a bit before 3 came out. And also, I don't get why people act like it was so long because we got so many Kingdom Hearts games in between 2 and 3.
Yeah, but they weren't on consoles.
Yeah.
They're all handheld
Birth by
titles.
Sleep might as well be a third entry.
Yeah. But, it's not on a console.
I guess
I mean,
not.
like, I know people who, like, bought a PS3 for Kingdom Hearts 3 because they knew that Kingdom Hearts 3 was gonna be on the PS3,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's finally here, the fourth one.
Yeah.
Do we want to blow through the other
Tokyo.
announcements real fast before we go in depth on?
I mean, if you want to do them first, I was gonna save them till after we talked about 4.
I feel like that might be a bit anticlimactic.
I don't really care. I'd rather start with the good stuff than start with bullshit that nobody cares about. Yeah.
All right. Where do you want to take it then? You want to just go through the trailer?
No, let's start with ATSTs.
Well, they are pretty much at the very beginning, so yeah. Totally an ATST foot there.
Yeah. It's like
nothing else that could be, let's be honest.
Yeah.
They're gonna do Star Wars World. That's Disney,
in the corner of one of the frames, the trailer, there's a ATST foot.
That Forest World, I don't know if that's gonna end up being like Endor from Star Wars or one of like the 2 forest planets that are in the Force Awakens or whatever.
Yeah.
So it could be either of those. But lightsaber Keyblade is the important part.
That is the important part.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we could get like a Star Wars world, and it looks like we're also getting like just a real life Tokyo world. I don't know what the theme's going to be for this one.
He's going to start off in Tokyo, and then he's going to go to Disney World in Tokyo,
Okay, yeah, that could work. That would make sense.
Yeah. Because in 3, you had all the amusement park attacks that ruined the pace of combat. And there were way too many of them. So now we're just going to have an entire world of that.
Sure, if it's just, one entire world of that, sure, whatever. Yeah, like the last game's theme for Worlds was like Pixar.
Yes.
So
this one's gonna be like Star Wars and maybe Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel's probably gonna end up showing up, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you just have like Spider-Man Keyblade. Sure, I can dig that.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many Disney movies that come out each year,
There is, like...
They'll never run out of new worlds to do.
Oh, man, we gotta get Turning Red so we can just have a Canada world?
Yeah.
That'd be sick. Just Sora in Canada.
Yeah, that's why they're doing real-life Tokyo. Because that way, when they go to real-life Toronto, it won't be as weird.
Yeah, the real-life settings have always been super weird. Like, what have we had? We had,
Pirates.
Yeah, Pirates is super weird in Kingdom Hearts, just because Sora stands out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
They at least made him look more realistic in this one, it looks like.
Yes.
He doesn't have clown feet anymore.
Yeah, they got rid of his shoes. I think this is the first time we've ever seen Sora's feet.
Someone been keeping track.
I can't remember any time we see Sora's feet. I think we see Roxas's feet in Kingdom Hearts 2, but we don't ever see Sora's feet.
I I, I haven't remembered, but yeah, I think Sora's always had just stupid clown shoes on.
Yeah, can't beat the clown shoes.
It's true. Even in like 3D, he had goofy clown shoes always. Now even his face isn't as goofy anymore. Everything, it's too real. They're going too far into that Unreal tech.
Yeah.
But neither of us have beaten 3. Just
Yeah.
we should just make that clear.
Yeah, I haven't beaten 3. I got it. I played it. I did not beat it.
Yeah, I haven't beaten 3 or played Remind or anything, so no clue what happened. Did Sora die?
You gotta also keep in mind that you won't understand the plot unless you played that rhythm game that came out on the Switch.
Oh, is that canon?
Of course it's canon. You also won't understand the plot unless you went to an exclusive hotel in Japan that was Kingdom Hearts themed, that had lore in it.
I mean,
and also went to the concert that it was attached to.
I mean, this one just has a Union Cross character just front and center, so I'm gonna have to like read up on that.
Yeah, you gotta play the mobile game as well. Yeah. There's so many videos on YouTube trying to explain the plot of Kingdom Hearts.
I don't think Kingdom Hearts is that bad most of the time. It's just more the sheer amount of separate games there are.
Yeah, the problem is they insist that all the spin-offs be canon.
Which isn't too unheard of. It's just playing through like a mobile game is kind of annoying.
Yeah. But you also gotta like realize it's like, well, which ones are actually important to the plot and then which ones are not.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could skip
too many of them
Recoded.
are important to the plot is the problem.
Yeah, except for Recoded. You could skip
you can skip Recoded, but nothing else. You have to play everything else.
I've never even read a synopsis of that game.
You don't need to know about Recoded. Nothing happens in it. They go in a computer.
Yeah.
And they replay Kingdom Hearts 1. There's like a fake data Sora.
Uh-huh.
Nothing really happens with him.
Isn't it a setup to the letter they get in the after credits scene of Kingdom Hearts 2?
I think it is, yeah.
It's so dumb.
I don't know. The series could have ended at Kingdom Hearts 2. They didn't need to keep going, but they just did.
Xehanort's cool.
He was
Xehanort.
Better before they made him stupid.
Yes. Xehanort's always been stupid, okay?
Oh yeah, but like in like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, you weren't fighting Xehanort. You were fighting his Heartless and his Nobody. So you were technically fighting Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, and you were fighting what's his name?
Xehanort stole Terra's body, who then stole Ansem's identity.
Yes.
This all sounds more confusing than it actually is. It all makes sense while you're playing the game. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
Is that you sound like a crazy person trying to explain it, but when you actually play it, like, it's just kind of Sora just having fun, and then occasionally a plot will happen, and
it makes enough sense. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I suppose.
And
it's like, it didn't need to be this confusing, but sure.
And 90% of the time, you're not even engaging with the plot. You're just doing whatever a Disney World is.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 had the big innovation of actually having, like, the Xehanort show up during the Disney Worlds, actually.
Yeah. I mean, if you want Nomura bullshit, but with less convoluted plots and you don't have to play a million games, you could always just play The World's Ends With You, you know?
Yeah.
And Neo, The World's Ends With You.
Yeah.
But, you know, Kingdom Hearts has, like, really good combat, so, you know, it's up there. Like, honestly, when it comes to, like, the Kingdom Hearts franchise, I would recommend 2 to pretty much everyone as long as you, like Disney stuff. If you, like, hate Disney and you can't stand it, then I couldn't recommend it to you. But
I think 2's worth it even beyond that.
Yeah, like, 2 is so good.
Is so cool.
Yeah.
Like, the Battle of 1,000 Heartless or whatever, that alone that doesn't have much Disney going on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the best moments are two is when there's no Disney stuff going on.
Even then, the Disney stuff is still pretty good.
Yeah, the Disney
Like,
stuff is fine.
yeah,
But you're
like when
playing through
you're
the Disney stuff to get to the good stuff at the end.
yes. Man, Kingdom Hearts 2 is such a good game.
It's
I need to
so
also go beat
good.
3. I didn't even dislike 3. I agree that the combat is a bit odd because of how much it gets held up with your like form
Yeah.
changing and
Like that's the
amusement
thing about the
attacks.
combat is like it's good. The fundamentally it's actually really good. They just fuck it up by putting too much bullshit on top of it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like they made amazing cake and then covered it in like fondant.
Fun.
You know what? You know the gross thing they put on cakes to make them look fancy, but they taste gross.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With like for like the fake flicking cakes. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I hate that stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the thing. It's like they did a good job on the combat system and just like let's put all this extra shit on top of it to fuck it up.
Yeah. I really need to. I know what they added critical, and I think that stuff's less common. Like you don't like the bars don't charge as fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really need to play it on the hardest difficulty sometime.
Yeah, because it's not just. It would be one thing if it was just like the weapon transformation sequences, like being pace breakers. Like
Yeah.
if it was just that, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But it's not just
Yeah.
that. It's also the constant Trinity attacks that happen way too often. And the
Yeah.
amusement park attacks that happen way too often. So, if
Yeah. It's
anything,
those.
for
Any
Kingdom Hearts
one
4,
of those on their own would be fine.
yeah. But like for Kingdom Hearts 4, I hope they like go way back and like cut a lot of that stuff out because the fundamental like combat system of 3 is fairly good.
I mean, that's good. At its core, it's still just 2.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I mean, it's definitely similar. It's not like so divergent that they're not comparable, but I do feel like 2 overall is better just because
It's the
drive
closest
system.
to 2 since the spin-offs.
Yeah, the drive system in 2 is just so good. But the weapons, morphing system in 3 was also really good. It just was different.
It's really fun, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it more than whatever the system in 3D and Birth by Sleep is called. I forgot what that's the one where you like have commands. I forgot what that's called entirely.
I really liked it because for one, it lets you like equip up to 3 keyblades at once, so you could switch between them in mid combat. And since they all had unique movesets, it also gave you more of a reason to use each individual keyblade outside of just their stats.
Oh yeah.
You might want to actually use one that might have not as great stats just because you want to utilize that moveset for combos.
Yeah, it's fancy.
Yeah.
A lot
it
of
leans more into
combat is
the action RPG elements, along with still having amazing action, which is what Kingdom Hearts was always good at.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts 1 is very much just a Final Fantasy game with real-time combat. It really is what 1 feels like a lot of the time.
Kinda. I don't know.
I mean,
1 kind of feels like
spells
a bit of a mess sometimes. I'm not a big fan of 1, but that's mostly because the level design in 1 is like atrociously bad. Like I'm just gonna say it. It's like so bad.
Oh, I don't think anyone's gonna argue with that.
Like, unironically, like 1 has like the most unfun levels imaginable in any video game. Like,
I don't think it's that bad. It's playable, but it's annoying. Like the jungle where like you fall from a vine and then like you're 6 screens back and have to do like crappy platforming back, and it's like, oh my god.
Deep jungle is super annoying. The whale level, I don't love. Although that one's not too bad. Alice in Wonderland is annoying because
that's short.
Constant gimmicks. It's long enough that you're gonna get stuck on some point and be like, what the fuck am I doing? Oh, I need an item?
I think I gave up on 1 towards the very end.
Yeah.
If I remember right. I'm just like, I know what happens. I'm just gonna go to 2.
It's especially bad because of the gummy strip segments in 1 are also really bad, and you have to play them in order to get to between each world. So if you're go to one world and then you want to go back to the other world because to like buy an item or something,
that bad?
you had to like go through it again. Yeah, you eventually unlocked like a warp so you could skip them, but like
Man, I don't even remember it being that bad.
it's really bad in one. Like the gummy ship segments are atrociously bad.
I mean,
Like
Kingdom Hearts 1 is still pretty good compared to some of its. What was its competition in whatever year that came out in? Like Drakengard? It's better than
well, like,
that.
no, there's nothing. There was
Yeah.
nothing similar to it when it
Yeah.
came out. It's just one of those things where it's like, if I ever think of playing Kingdom Hearts, I only ever think of playing 2, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not even a question in my mind. It's like, should I replay 2 for the 25th time? Or should I play any other Kingdom Hearts game? And the answer is always replay 2 again. Don't even try to play any of the other ones. They're not worth it.
3D is fun. I don't think 3D has any crippling
That one's
flaws.
not too bad, but it's not as good as 2, so I'll just play 2
Yeah.
again.
Flow motion is cool, but then 3 just did flow motion way better.
Yeah.
It's a weird series.
Yeah. But 4 has, the potential to be really, really, really good.
Yeah, just
provided it does what I said and it
fix those that one little issue with 3 and boom.
Because the thing with
Masterpiece.
3 is that those problems that I mentioned don't really happen on like the end game bosses and stuff.
No, yeah.
Because they don't have that shit in there. So then it's just the good stuff. But I want the entire game to be like that, not just the ending. That I have to slog through like the boring combat to get to it. Because the combat should be fun, but I keep getting these praise breakers with these mini game stuff that's not fun after the third time I've done it,
Yeah. We can't really say much about what forest combat's going to be like. Like, we saw him pull out a drill and shoot it, which was like a thing in one of the forums in 3, so I don't know.
What it seems like, based off of, the trailer, it looks like it's going to be similar to 3.
Yeah.
It's probably going to have the same core mechanics. But like I said, as long as they scale back the attraction ride attacks, and maybe make the Trinities less common, or you have just more control over them. Because that was the problem, was that the attraction rides, the Trinities, and the weapon transformations all use the same button. And so, like, there was lots of times where I'd get into a fight, and this wasn't just like 1 or 2 fights per world. This was every fight in every world. Every time I got into a combat counter, it was like this in 3, where I would fight the enemy, I'd get enough like points or whatever to do one of the things, and then I'd do like 30 seconds later, I get the other 2 as well, and then it's just like, well, now I have to like activate the Trinity, like press like the thing to skip through the cutscene, and then skip through the end of it immediately. It's like, sure, I can skip them, but they still take like 15 seconds to skip every time, and it totally destroys the flow of combat.
Yeah.
And if you actually do use them, then it just kills all the enemies in the room for you, and it's not fun.
Yeah, they are very powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 had some pretty wacky forms, but they took a while to get to that point.
Yeah. But like, and it's also like, using the forms in 2 is like a player decision, right?
Yeah.
That's a resource you have to manage. It's like activating your devil trigger in DMC,
Yeah.
It's like, it's always in your control. It's linked out its own thing. Like, it doesn't interfere with the reaction commands in 2, which are also still in 3, that also take up the same slot as, like, button slot as the attraction flows, and,
What did Triangle do when there wasn't a reaction going on? Did it not do anything in 2? I can't remember. It's been a while
Triangle
since I played
was there just for reactions. But that was your interact button. You'd walk up to a treasure chest, you press triangle to interact with it,
Okay. Yeah, I can remember off the top of my head.
Yeah. But, it did the same thing in 3, and then it was also like, you used it for transforming weapons, you used it for reaction commands, you used it to activate the attraction rides when you had those available, and it also used it for the Trinities.
Yeah.
And
lots of stuff.
All of those things would all happen all at the same time, but you could only do one, so you have to like circle through them, and it was just a big mess. To be honest.
I don't know. Did Remind change anything, the DLC? Because
I don't know. I
didn't
never
even touch
tried it.
that. I didn't really want to get super spoiled on it because I never got
Yeah.
into it.
It's
So,
just one of those things where it's like, I liked the core combat in 3, but those issues were just too much for me. And it kind of just was like, I'm not having that much fun. So I'm just going
yeah.
to play something else instead.
So, what is your theory for the last action in the little we saw of 4's HUD said build apparently? So I wonder what that's gonna do.
I don't know. Does Disney own Legos?
No.
No.
Maybe it might just be a world specific thing as well. They do that sometimes, so I have no clue what that could end up being. I've seen plenty of Fortnite jokes though, so if we could, if that's just gonna be that crap, wonderful. Do that. Just have Sora build a fort while he's in the middle of fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. I do have high hopes for this game.
Oh, yeah, same.
I think it has the potential to be really, really good.
Yeah. I still don't think 3 is a miss. I think it's
I don't
very
think
close
3
to
is that
quality
bad.
2.
Like I said, the only problem I have with it is that they like fudged up the combat. But I'm pretty sure if you just play that on like critical or like hard mode, because I was playing on normal, which was a mistake, clearly.
Yeah, it was a very easy game.
Yeah.
2 is also pretty easy until like the late game. The late game it becomes like merciless, but
Yeah, like the post game stuff. But that's only really in Final Mix, even. You know?
Yeah, I suppose.
Because none of that stuff is in the base game.
Man, I can't imagine playing the original Kingdom Hearts 2. I only
Dude,
played
I've played
Final
the
Mix.
original like 20 times. It's great.
I can't
mean,
imagine
obviously,
that game
Final
without,
Mix is just objectively better because it's the same game but with more stuff and it's better.
not the Roxas fight not existing is the most baffling thing ever.
Yeah.
Like that's
Dude, I remember being a kid and like seeing the Japanese like Final Mix like Roxas fight. You know, back when that was actually on the PS2 in Japan only.
yeah.
Like on YouTube. And I was like, yo, this is the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, just how is that not in the game? That's
Wasn't in the game. They
did it
didn't
get
think
rushed
about it.
out?
It was just a cutscene. It was just a cutscene there where Sora fought Roxas.
Yeah, that's just baffling. Like, what were they thinking?
I mean, if you notice in that, in Final Mix, Roxas is like way harder than all the other endgame bosses.
He is. He took me like a whole like day straight of fighting. I remember like I was fighting him for like a whole day straight.
Like
Couldn't beat him.
He's obviously like the hardest mandatory boss in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Then I came back the next day and beat him on my first try.
Yeah.
Don't know how that happened. Awesome fight though.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff in Kingdom Hearts 2 is an awesome fight. Man, I gotta replay that game sometime.
Yeah.
I'm
just looking at the problem with this is like I'm just looking at like Kingdom Hearts 4 and I'm like, well, I didn't play the rhythm game and I haven't played any of the mobile games. And I don't know what happened in those.
I have a vague idea what happens in Union Cross just because I've read the wiki pages.
Yeah.
Just to have a vague idea what's happening, and because 3 teases a lot of stuff like that that's connected to the mobile game. So
yeah,
but still, I thought that was shut down before. I didn't realize it was still going.
I thought it was shut down.
Maybe they revived it.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. They had like a trailer for the new mobile game.
Yes.
There's 2 new mobile game trailers.
I think one of them is more Union Cross stuff.
Yeah.
And the other is a whole new game.
Yes.
New Union Cross stuff, it looks like we're just going to see more Xehanort backstory. You know, the stuff that we saw in cutscenes in 3.
Yeah.
Which, okay. I thought Xehanort's story was done, but sure.
Yeah, didn't Nomura say we were done with the Xehanort saga?
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, we barely talked about Sora being in the real world now.
I mean, I don't know what's going on, so I can't comment on that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't play Rebind or Beat 3.
Then somebody was saying was like, oh, he's dead. Then he got revived in the real world.
They call it in this trailer, they say it's like an afterworld.
Yeah.
And he's in Shibuya. So is this the world ends with you again? What didn't he already do that?
I don't know.
In
So
Kingdom
Sora
Hearts?
died, right? And he went to the afterlife, and the afterlife is the real world.
Yes.
I suppose.
Yes. I think.
Then, you know, the giant Heartless shows up, and somebody tweets about it.
They're gonna release a real Heartless and Shibuya as viral marketing. Disney has that kind of money. It's gonna really happen. I can't wait. Someone already doxed Sora. Someone already figured out exactly what building he was in that trailer.
Yeah. He was talking like to a character that I guess is in the mobile games.
Yes, the character from Union Cross. What's her name? Was like Sterlitzia or something. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know. The kid is, but that's my blind spot with the lore. I understand Roxas and Marluxia. Except for I don't, because Marluxia has a ton of stuff in Union Cross, I think, so I don't get him anymore.
None of this makes sense.
It makes sense.
Like, it was already stupid and hard to understand, and it's just getting progressively more and more stupid. Like, Kingdom Hearts is like a black hole. It just grows, and it's
but those moments where it makes sense, it's so cool and awesome. Like,
the thing with the cool parts of Kingdom Hearts is that they still don't make sense. They're just cool.
Yeah.
You know?
It doesn't need to make sense, really. It's just when it comes together, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it all just boils down to light, darkness stuff. Like it's pretty simple when you paint it in broad strokes.
Yeah. I mean, there's two ways to understand the plot of Kingdom Hearts, right? Well, there's three ways. You could actually play all the games, which I would not recommend.
Yeah, skip a couple of those.
It's not a great way of doing it. You could do the fast method, which is just watching every single Just a Pancake video.
That's actually how I initially learned it all.
Yeah. Or you can go the long way, which is watching Kingdom Hearts 101, the PCP lecture, PCP University lecture.
Or you can just buy the story so far, because that just has all the cutscenes you can just watch.
That's lame. Having someone explain it to you is better.
See, I don't even need like the stuff explained. Like 358 over 2 days, like that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
that's like a sentence I can explain it with. There's Xion. She stops existing. Roxas sad, except for he's not sad because he doesn't remember it.
Yes, and then she comes back anyway.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, she's
about that. Yeah, I don't know. Kingdom Hearts. It's so cool though. When like you see like the old games and how much stuff is, I'm not sure if it was actually planned out, but there's like hints to stuff that we're just seeing now.
Yeah, it's like Five Nights at Freddy's.
It is. How much of it is bullshit and how much of it was actually planned?
It was all bullshit.
Okay.
Nomura is definitely just writing as he goes along. It's just like, I need to.
But there's like little stuff like the journal entries in like 2, which like didn't make sense until like stuff in 3. It's like, whoa.
I don't know.
I think he has like the broad strokes planned out. Like, okay, this is gonna happen, but he changes like but he doesn't have like individual games planned out.
That makes sense.
Because that's not something you can plan out. Because like development happens, you know.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think like between like 1 and 2, there was one spin-off game, right? And
Yeah.
so as long as you've so if you're going into one and you skip the spin-off game, it'll be confusing, but you'll be able to pick up the slack provided you read Jiminy's journal or whatnot.
Which, I mean, a lot of complaints for 2 at the time were, this makes no sense, even though it makes perfect sense if you just pay attention. But
2 doesn't make much sense, but if you don't think about it, it won't matter.
Just the intro it's just the intro people complained about. Which
the Roxas part at the beginning was the best bit.
It
represents
is the best bit.
The player having to wait for Kingdom Hearts 2 to come out. by symbolizing it by making you play as Roxas while he just sits around and doing summer vacation stuff, waiting for Sora to show up for the real game to begin.
But then you get really sad when the real game begins.
Yeah. Because now you're done waiting, which means your summer vacation is over and means it's time to play Kingdom Hearts 2 now. But it's okay because Kingdom Hearts 2 is a banger.
It is. And then there were 500 spin-offs after 2.
Yeah, it's
2 and 3.
Between 2 and 3, there's 13 years. And
no way. Was it really exactly 13?
I'm pretty sure it was 13 years. Let me look it up really quick. Kingdom Hearts 2 came out.
Just so you know, by the way, in this trailer, they said Sora was asleep for 7 days.
Yeah.
Because we need more of that.
Everything is either 7 or 13.
Yep.
2 release date. When did that come out? Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2005, right? Kingdom Hearts 3 came out in 2019. So that's 13 years, right?
Wait, did you say 2019?
Yeah, 2019.
I think it's 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 14 years. They might have fucked up.
No. It came out January 2019. And then the other one came out, so technically it was
okay,
13 years.
Good enough, Nomura. Okay, good enough.
Yeah. Because Kingdom Hearts 2 came out December 2005.
Oh, okay.
The other one came out January 2019. So basically
close
13
enough.
year. 13
Close
yeah, close enough. Yeah. So, Kingdom Hearts 5, of course. When we get that, that's going to be another 13 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if Kingdom Hearts 4 is fairly close between the release of Kingdom Hearts 3, that means Kingdom Hearts 5 we're going to be waiting for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long time.
But when are we going to get a new Kid Icarus game?
No, never. That's not happening. When are we going to get an Uprising port? That's also never going to happen.
Never, ever.
You
have to port it to a drawing tablet to make it work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine playing Kid Icarus Uprising on PC with a drawing tablet.
It wouldn't work bad with mouse.
Yeah, right. It would just work like that.
It would work fine with mouse. And the land stages would work fine with joystick.
Yeah.
Man, now I want to play Kid Icarus Uprising again. But
we gotta talk about Sora's drip.
Oh, I don't know. It looks similar to the stuff in 3.
It does. No, at first glance, it looks very similar to 3, but you'll notice it's much more realistic. It's something that a normal fucking human would actually wear.
It's actually the outfit of the main character. It's the outfit of the main character from The Bouncer, actually.
Yeah, it is. Well, Sora was always that guy from The Bouncer. They were always the same person. Yeah.
The Bouncer. I should play that game.
Oh, it reminds me... It's just funny because it's very, very similar to a lot of the outfits in Neo The World Ends With You. Which makes sense.
I mean,
same.
They're just wearing Shibuya, hip fashion.
Well, exactly. Because it's Nomura.
Yeah.
Because that's what Nomura dresses like. Despite the fact that he's 35, 40 at this point.
He still dresses like a 13-year-old in Shibuya. Yes.
Yeah. He'll never let his inner child die.
Don't Nomura. I love everything Nomura's done except Advent Children.
Yeah.
I like 7 Remake. I don't like Advent Children. I don't think anyone likes Advent Children, though.
You know what? I like Advent Children. I don't like 7 Remake.
I think you're the only person on the planet.
But I don't think Advent Children is like actually good. It's just fun.
It is really funny. I need to watch the whole thing. I've only seen clips that have made me laugh out loud.
You haven't seen it. You don't know. Granted, I haven't watched Advent Children in like 15 years at this point.
All I know is Cloud and Sephiroth are both horribly out of character, and Barrett is an oil baron now.
I don't remember that part. I remember everyone got like AIDS.
Yeah, they get like Sephiroth AIDS.
Yeah.
It's so... I think having a sequel to 7 at all kind of ruins, because 7's ending
does. It 100% does ruin it.
7's ending makes it ambiguous if humanity went extinct or not. It just ends with wholly maybe stopping the meteor. We don't know.
Yeah.
And then it just shows like 10,000 years later where we see Midgar like overgrown.
Yeah.
So we know life survives. We don't know about humanity, and that's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's... Yeah.
So at least
7 getting like ultra franchised, it's kind of sucks, because it is effectively like the same thing that happened to Star Wars, you know?
Yeah. Although I think the prequels rock, so I'm fine.
See, I don't have a stake in this because I don't like any Star Wars shit. It's like I could not care about anything Star Wars related at all. You know?
Yeah.
The closest thing to Star Wars I care about is Spaceballs.
It is the best Star Wars film, I agree. Although I rewatched Empire Strikes Back like last year, and it really is that good.
Yeah. The prequels are good because they have memes, so I'll
very
give them
good
that.
memes too.
Yeah.
Oh man, what if we get prequel memes in Kingdom Hearts now? That would be so cool.
Yeah. So if we know we're gonna get Star Wars stuff, then we're like, what Star Wars era are we getting though? Are we gonna get the originals, the prequels, or the sequels?
Okay, well, we see an ATST, so that's either originals or sequels. And I really think the forest we saw in the beginning looked really similar to a planet that was in The Force Awakens, so I'm guessing sequels.
I say originals.
It could be. There's
because
only like
Square Enix is making this.
So they don't feel obligated. That's true.
Yeah. They're like, we're going to go with the ones that people actually like and not the two controversial ones that people are like mixed on, you know? We're not going to talk about the prequels that nobody likes. We're not going to talk about the sequels that are like a big hot topic discussion.
The sequel opinions I've seen are Force Awakens, it's fine. Everyone tolerates it, even if because it's just kind of a remake, whatever. Last Jedi, it's either the best thing ever or the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
And nobody likes Rise of Skywalker. I don't think I've seen a single person like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just Star Wars to me is like just the weirdest IP because I've never been a fan of it. But like it's gone like the public reception of it has gone from like weird nerd shit to normie shit. And it's very odd, and I don't understand it at all.
I think Star Wars has always been Star Wars has always been like the highest grossing film franchise of all time.
But that's just because it was always like normal and like popular and stuff doesn't necessarily mean that public reception of it, you know, or it's like being a Star Wars fan, you know, back in the day, you know, that was like nerd stuff.
Yeah.
Still considered. It's like everybody watched it, but you wouldn't like go out and be like, "Yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan."
Yeah, you wouldn't go out and go play Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah. Nowadays, everyone's like that.
Yeah.
You know, like back in the day, you wouldn't go around telling everybody you were a Kingdom Hearts fan. You know, except for the fact that you would.
Kingdom Hearts is a pretty big franchise. I mean, I'll be
Yeah.
real. It's like the definitive licensed Disney game.
Yeah, I mean, you would wear your Kingdom Hearts T-shirt to school, but you wouldn't tell them that you were LARPing in the parking lot of JCPenney.
You wouldn't go out and explain the story to people that haven't played it.
Yeah, you wouldn't be explaining the lore. You wouldn't
go out and
be
explain
admitting to be one of the two guys LARPing in a parking lot in the middle of winter.
Kingdom Hearts parking lot LARPing, was that a thing?
Yeah, have you never seen the video?
I haven't.
You've never seen the LARPing Kingdom Hearts video.
Oh, I'm excited to look this up after this now.
I swear I've shown this to you. You've never seen this?
I might have seen this like years ago.
It's like the two guys with like foam swords pretending to be like Riku and like Sora.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm excited.
It's like the best video ever. I can't believe you haven't seen it.
Maybe I haven't. It's just been forever. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, but actually, what worlds are you hoping forward for? By the way, I forgot to ask that. What are any wish list worlds you have?
You know what? I don't know. Encanto, I guess that one's new. Maybe we'll see that.
I didn't watch it. Well, I want Cars.
God no.
I want Cars Sora fighting alongside Mater. No, Lightning McQueen. It'll go
Lightning
like
McQueen can be a summon. And that's the most I can accept.
It'll be like a flash and like stun enemies.
It's bad enough we got a Chicken Little summon. We should just be thankful we didn't get a Chicken Little world.
No one. I'm still shocked we got a Chicken Little summon. Was it just because that movie was new when 2 came out?
Oh, 100%.
Like, people didn't even like that when it came out.
Yeah. It's like the worst Disney movie. Like, ironically. Like, it's worse than the Black Cauldron.
Black Cauldron isn't that just, I haven't seen Black Cauldron, but isn't that just because like it got screwed in editing and production?
Yes.
Like that got like, they finished the movie and they're like, well, this is way too dark. We gotta reanimate half the movie.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that they reanimated, they just cut a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
So they basically took a butchering knife in the editing room to it.
Ugh. I wonder if an uncut exists for that somewhere. Because Disney has their vault that
I know that some
released.
assets of it still exist that were cut.
Yeah. That was the dark ages for Disney. That was right before the Renaissance or whatever, when all the movies sucked before the Renaissance.
Nah, the Robin Hood one was good.
Oh, I hated Robin Hood as a kid.
What? Nah.
It's so boring.
Robin Hood's good.
It reuses animation cells from the Jungle Book.
So?
It does. Half the animations are of the animal characters.
Yeah, I know that, but that doesn't matter.
Lazy.
It's not lazy, it's good.
It's boring.
It's not that boring. It's not that boring compared to any other Robin Hood movie.
Well, except for Men in Tights.
Yeah.
Is that one cheating?
Men in Tights is still a good Robin Hood movie, but yeah.
It's the best Robin Hood movie.
I mean, okay, there's a lot of Robin Hood adaptations. Some are good, some are bad. Breadsword made a really good Robin Hood video about it. You should watch that.
There's a lot of Robin Hood. Is Robin Hood full on fair use?
Yeah, he's fair use. Okay.
Because there's some, like, you think, like, Tarzan isn't fair use. That one's still copyrighted. Like, even Disney doesn't own that.
Yeah. What about the Jungle Book? Did that just recently go into fair use, I'm pretty sure?
I think, yeah, because that's, what, late 1800s?
Yeah.
Yeah. That book's about colonialism.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a Disney movie.
Yeah. That's about being in the jungle.
I'm thinking of other wishlist worlds. I want a prequel world. It ain't gonna happen, but I want an Attack of the Clones world.
Do you think we see anything from, like, the smaller scale Disney stuff, like Disney Channel? Do we get a Phineas and Ferb world?
That's tougher.
Yeah. Because we probably won't. But
yeah,
that would be nice.
Doubt it.
It would be interesting.
Oh, yeah, that would be sick. Imagine fighting Doofenshmirtz.
Yeah, Perry the Platypus would be like the companion for the world.
That'd be so sick. Xehanort's like helping Doofenshmirtz make like a Heartlessinator.
Really
This
good.
would be awesome. I mean, I've already seen like the High School Musical world, right? That's gotta happen.
It's plausible. I mean, if
It
we're
is
going real life, that means we could do like more live action
Oh
adaptations.
yeah, that could be the gimmick for this one. Last one was Pixar. Let's just do live action because if we get
because if
real
we're
life
already doing Star Wars and Marvel stuff, likely, then those would both be like live action stuff. So that would explain it, you know.
Yeah, to explain why they're doing a live action Tokyo.
Oh no, we're gonna get the live action remakes of Disney stuff.
Oh!
No, we're gonna have to go through classic Disney World, but there's a live action remakes version.
Lion King again.
No.
The worst Kingdom Hearts 2 world, but this time it's
No. The Atlantis world
unrealistic.
is worse than the Lion King world.
Which one?
The Atlantis world.
I forgot about Atlantis. See,
Yeah.
Atlantis, I don't even count that as a world because you don't do anything.
I do, and it's terrible.
It's just a rhythm game for 5 minutes and you're done.
I know. It's so
sucks.
bad. I don't know. I always appreciated the Lion King world in Kingdom Hearts 2 just for its like change up. You know, it's
kind of fun.
Yeah. I like that it mixed it up.
It's one of the less fun worlds, and I guess there is a lot of repetition in Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, that's probably the one issue.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think 3, that's one of its strengths. A lot of the worlds feel really radically different, especially in terms of, like, set pieces.
Because, like, in New Worlds for 3, we got, like, Tangled, we got, like, Frozen, we got Big Hero 6.
Monsters, Inc.
Yeah, we got Monsters, Inc.
I mean, even in the returning worlds, there's, like, super crazy stuff happening.
Yeah.
Like, the set pieces in 3 were nuts.
So if we're likely to get, you know, stuff like Star Wars and like Avengers and stuff.
Yeah. What other live-action Disney films are there? See, this is hard because if we're counting Star Wars and Disney, then anything that Disney owns is sky's the limit. Like, Disney owns freaking everything.
Yeah. That's another... Oh, they own Fox. Simpsons World.
Yes! Yes! Hey, you know what's a Disney movie that's not even because they owned it, it's because this was 100% funded and produced by Disney? The Sixth Sense. That's a Disney film.
Yeah.
They just did it under, like, an alias.
Yeah.
Let's get
you know
that.
what we're not gonna get?
Huh.
We're not gonna get an Anastasia World, because that's not a Disney movie.
I've never seen Anastasia. I just know it as that film people talk about.
It's a film that people talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched it. I like it, but I think I like it because it's based off of a myth. Like, okay?
Like a Russian royal family?
Okay, so where the myth is from is that when the communists overthrew the Russian government, you know, at the time, the emperor, they killed all the royal family. There's a myth that one of the daughters of the Russian emperor escaped.
Okay.
Right? That's not true. Like, it didn't actually happen. She died. She was killed by the communists with the rest of her family.
Okay.
You know. But
as far as we know, conspiracies.
Yeah, but there's like a myth about it.
They escaped into Kingdom Hearts.
But yeah, the film and whatnot.
That's going to be a world where Sora shows up and fights Bolsheviks.
Yeah, the film is like historical fiction. You know,
okay.
It's obviously a fantasy story based off of a historical event and a historical myth. Like, you know,
is that film not Disney? I know it's definitely not Disney, but who actually did that?
It's a John Bluth movie.
Oh, okay.
It's his most Disney-like film.
In a career with a lot of Disney-like films.
Yeah.
When's the Don Bluth Dragon's Lair movie coming out? He was working on that.
Yeah. Although, speaking of Anastasia, just like really quick, because it always annoys me, is like whenever there's like anybody talking about like a piece of media that's like historical fiction, you know, and then someone complains that it's not historically accurate, I always get really annoyed because it's like, that's not the fucking point. It's not supposed to be historically accurate.
Anyone who complains about historical accuracy is a bitch.
It's like it's not even
Unless it's
supposed to be slightly historical. It's just slightly based off of history, but it's clearly fiction. You know?
I can really appreciate when like a historical fiction is like really to the letter, like really accurate.
Yeah. Keep in
But
mind,
I don't care if it's
Anastasia. The
not.
main villain of Anastasia is Rasputin's like zombie,
Oh,
who is
no,
a
that was
wizard.
true. That really did happen.
Yeah.
Rasputin was a wizard and a holy man.
Exactly, which is why it's like they went with that as the villain because it's like, yeah,
Yeah, Rasputin is the coolest character just in history. Like, he was a wizard, he was a priest, he was immortal. Like,
yeah.
he probably had a cool Russian accent because he was Russian.
Rasputin is like the real life equivalent of a Dark Souls boss.
He is. He gets back up and pwns you once his health bar runs out.
Yeah. In order for them to kill him, they had to poison him, shoot him multiple times, beat him, and stab him, and he only died because they threw him into the river in which he drowned.
And I hope he
Because
shows
he
up in
couldn't
Kingdom Hearts
breathe
4.
underwater. You know?
As far as we know.
Yeah.
That was a body double. We've got nothing Kingdom Hearts 4, but that's fine.
Yeah. Off-topic rant over.
I didn't expect us to be going this long.
Me neither. You have anything else to say on Kingdom Hearts 4? Like, are there any worlds you want to see? Like, do you want to see any worlds return?
Oh, returning worlds. I feel like they've done like all they've wanted to see with a lot of the worlds. Like the returning worlds are never that exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they could really flesh out one of the ones that's like really short from one like the first two games.
I could see them doing Frozen again just to do Frozen 2.
God, I forgot Frozen 2 happened.
Yeah.
That movie just happened.
It did just happen.
It probably made like $1 trillion, but
it didn't make as much money as Frozen 1, I'm pretty sure.
Well, of course. Actually, no, not of course. A lot of the time sequels make more.
Yeah.
At least for movies, but
it depends
I think it just had no cultural impact compared to the first one.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on a lot of factors. But Disney has never been known for sequels, so that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Like, I know Endgame did a lot better than Infinity War. Although Infinity War also did crazy numbers.
And but that makes sense. Endgame was marketed as the end of like the franchise.
Yeah,
like,
but you know, it also makes sense because Infinity War left on a cliffhanger. So even if you didn't watch Infinity War in theaters, you probably got around to it eventually at some point. And at that point, you were like, well, I gotta watch Endgame in theaters, you know?
Yeah. I was gonna say something and it blanked my mind.
Oh.
Well,
what was it about?
I can't remember now.
No.
Oh, whatever. Whatever. It was probably just a random goof or something. I don't know.
Goofy is in this game.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of the trailer, we hear someone's voice at the end. That was supposed to be someone, I'm sure, but I don't recognize the Japanese voice, so...
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw Fire. Is it Axel? Or, I'm sorry, he's Lee now?
Yeah, it's probably not him.
Okay.
It was Blue Fire.
Oh, was it Blue Fire? Okay.
Yeah, so who uses Blue Fire?
No clue.
Xehanort.
He's back.
Yeah. I'm already half Xehanort. Remember when that happened?
Become such a big character.
He was always number 2.
Was he?
Yeah, he's the second member of Organization 13.
He's like the lamest member. I like Dance Water Dance Guy more.
What? Zigbar has like guns and he controls space.
And then there's Braig, who is like just like...
Or is it gravity? I think it's space. He manipulates
I thought it was gravity, because doesn't he flip you upside down?
He does flip you upside down, but I thought that was how he manipulated space. Because like all the Organization 13 members all have like a special ability and weapon tied to them, you know, which is why they're so cool.
Some of them are much lamer than others in terms of ability.
Yeah.
Like Dance Water Dance Guy, that's just water.
It just feels so weird that this series is still going because this series was so made to appeal to like young kids slash teenagers growing up like in the early and like mid 2000s, you know?
It's a very early 2000s everything about it,
Yeah.
especially the first game.
Like Kingdom Hearts is such a like series of its time that it feels weird that it's still going. You know, it would be like if we were still getting new Jack and Daxter games.
Yeah, that would
You
be
know?
weird. I mean, it's somewhat modernized,
Yeah.
I feel
I
like, for the
mean,
most part.
like look at Ratchet and Clank, which is also very similar in that sense. And we're still getting new games and they're like totally different in terms of like, you know,
Yeah, style, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts' tone has barely changed, really.
Yeah. You know what? What if we get because they did Toy Story and
Okay.
Kingdom Hearts, you know, 3. What if we get like and they're making the new Lightyear movie.
Oh, and it's like real world?
Yeah, what if we do that? What if we get like that?
Oh, that'd actually be kind of neat. That'd be clever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sure. um, okay, yeah, that's genius. That's gonna happen.
Yeah. I do. Do you have anything else to say? Because I'm running out of stuff to say.
Same. I need to get back to 3. I
Yeah,
don't
I should
even have that
probably
on me.
finish it eventually. I think I'll
That's
start a new file and just start it on like either critical or hard mode. And
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm looking forward to get into that. And Remind. Remind actually reintroduced Final Fantasy stuff, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it did.
Okay, I wonder if it even had a Sephiroth fight. Because that is the coolest thing in 2. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And it also has the best version of One Winged Angel, Sephiroth fighting 2.
Yeah. Anyway, do you want to just wrap it up?
Sure.
Thank you for watching our Kingdom Hearts 4 podcast. If you enjoyed this video, it would mean a lot to us if you would hit the like button. It's helped support the channel immensely. We'd also love to hear your thoughts on the trailer and what worlds you'd like to see and stuff in general in Kingdom Hearts 4
Yes.
down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching and have a nice day.
See ya.